Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode of 276 of Fourth and Jawn. I am here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Mal Davis. I am Gail Saunders. We are talking about, the Eagles timeline talk. We're also missing Prime in the building, but Eagles timeline talk. There's a couple things that are surfacing on the timeline. If you have some topics that you want to talk about that you've seen on the timeline, put it in the comments. Let us know. We'll talk about it. But just we're trying to get a show out before the Sixers game because obviously that is an important time in everyone's life. I don't know about your family, but my family our lives have revolved around Sixers games. So it's kind of like brings us all together, high-fiving, like it's just we get our food. It's a good vibe. It's almost like it's almost like medicine. We need it. So I mean, we're at this point where we thought we were knocked out. Here we're back. We get Embiid back. There's MVP talk. I don't care about that. I'm talking about Finals MVP. I'll take that. But how you guys feeling? Are you guys geeked up about the season? Some of the timeline talk. Some Sixers.
Dude, I just want to build off of what you just said right there. You're talking about how the family's all hype, bro. I went out on Saturday night with my mom. We went out to dinner, and let me just preface this by saying that both my parents, they were more Flyers people growing up than they were Sixers people. I leaned towards the Sixers, and this whole year I've just been flooding them. Every game day, I'm just sending them Sixers content. I'm trying to get them into it. So I went out for Mother's Day this past weekend with my mom, and all she could do the entire dinner is gush over Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and how much she loves the Sixers team. And I was like, oh my God. I just love this woman. It was great to see, man. That's my parents are all in on the Sixers bandwagon. With Embiid coming back, it's a completely different team, and I'm ready to watch them smack again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's side of the family is from Philly, so my grandmother, may she rest in peace, huge Sixers fan. Pops, he watches the games, he loves it. My mom is from New York, but she loves Embiid. Like, she'll hit me up and be like, "Yo, you saw Joel Embiid?" I'm like, "Of course I saw Joel Embiid. Like, I watched the game." But nah, it's not medicine for me, bro. It's freaking heart. It's like heart palpitations watching the Sixers play ball. It's worse than the Eagles for me, man. So like, I'll turn it on and then turn it off. I haven't watched the full 76ers game in a minute. So I feel like I'm bad luck, bro. As soon as I turn it on, Harden starts missing and B get hurt. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'll track it through ESPN and check the timeline, make sure everything Gucci. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Yo, listen, bro. I'm not trying to mess this up. I'm trying to see this championship.
Well, I feel like as a fan-centric podcast of the Eagles, we're geeked out about the Eagles. Yes, so we're always analyzing the Eagles, and when it comes to the Sixers, I feel like I can take a back seat. I can just be a super fan of the Sixers. Yeah. Meanwhile, I was up till like 3 a.m. painting like Sixers shoes.
You pair those
for my guy Adam Bolden in the house. But just overall, I mean, just thinking about Eagles related content. First and foremost, I think Eagle fans out there, or content creators out there, have to realize, when Ray Didinger speaks, it's kind of like a guy you must listen to. He's the voice of reason for a lot of seasons. I think he's a guy that's put in the work. For any Eagle content creator out there, if you don't know who Ray Didinger is, go look him up. I think he's just the guy who has built his foundation off of research, hard work, dedication to his craft, and for him to get where he's gotten in his career, to be in the Hall of Fame, to be where he is, and still leaving on his own terms. Yeah. Ray Didinger decided to hang it up. So, he's a guy that I, for one, have always respected. I had a moment to, like hang out with Ray in a green room. This is a point when we had just got with NBC Philly, and we're sitting in the green room, and I'm trying to be like, oh, like I can't fanboy right now. There's the cool ass Ray Didinger right there. There's the guy that's like inspiration over there, but I can't like, play the cards,
Yeah, yeah. You can't fangirl out. Yeah.
But it got to a point where I was just like, I told him how I felt and gave him his flowers. Well, and just watching him work, him having a book, a stack of information, the way that he was breaking down the game. But he's always been that dude that has always been he's very authentic, very real.
Yeah.
And in these days where takes are like superimposed, they're blown out of proportion, he's a guy that like you'd always understand that he's done the research in the background to anything that he puts out there, any take that he puts out there. So I got to give hats off to Ray Diddy.
Yeah, and you took the words out of my mouth too, man. Because like I was gonna say, in a world of hot takes that we live in today, where that's how articles get clicks nowadays. Is it's all about the hot take. Ray Diddy, like he kept it real, man. He always kept it real, and on top of that, he was like a walking Eagles encyclopedia. Like that guy, what he knows about the history of the Eagles, like he's forgotten more than I know. So he's just an Eagle through and through. I'm glad that I was able to recognize him and appreciate his time while he was still working. But I wish him a happy and long-filled retirement.
Yeah, I remember when I first started working with Fourth and Jawn, Gail and I had a conversation, and you had used like Ray Diddy as like the exemplar, right, of like how the work should look, how you should go about it, being fact-based, not pandering to a specific group, crowd, or demographic, but like standing on your own feet, right? Like research, being about the action, being about really being a fan of the game and like understanding the game and the nuances of it. And I took that to heart. And like, I think that there's a place for that still, right? Like you don't have to be sensationalized to get clicks. You don't have to go way to the extremes and, create clickbait to entertain people, man. Like if you understand the game, folks will click in with you, folks will tap in. And I think Ray proved that. And like you said, he was able to go out on his own terms, which a lot of people are not, especially the clickbait folks, right? Like you see them pop up, get real popular, and then disappear. Primo. So yeah, man, it's
what's
awesome.
up, fellas?
Primo, we're in the middle of giving our thoughts on Ray Diddy. You have anything to say?
Yeah. I caught a little bit of the beginning of the show. Well, real quick about Didinger. Besides Gail being his number one groupie.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean the guy's definitely an inspiration, especially somebody like Gail. He teaches a lot, especially the way he breaks down the game, his dedication to the game, his dedication to the Eagles. There's one thing that I definitely remember about him is his reaction when we won the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
That was cool. And that was great to experience that with somebody, important as Ray Didinger is.
Yeah.
I think we ran into him the one time at NBC. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Yep. Right. Yeah. And the guy was really down to earth person. But Diddy's the man. Like, I wish him nothing but the best. And, he's definitely an inspiration to those upcoming people that are trying to, get into the same game as he was.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
And we were able to get the announcement right here of his retirement. So,
Lord, yours. Okay. My contract with WIP is up at the end of May, and I've decided that will be it for me. I'm retiring. Sunday, May 29th will be my final show. All these years, my family has lived their lives around my schedule. Now I can build my life around theirs. I have a wonderful wife, 2 accomplished adult children, and 4 beautiful grandchildren. I'm ready to transition from being Ray Diddy to Grandpa. Next fall, instead of charting plays at Lincoln Financial Field, I'll be at Whitted Mercy University watching girls field hockey and cheering on my granddaughter, Haley. I look forward to summer walks through Center City with my wife, Maria, and our bulldog, Arlo. I look forward to our grandson's music recitals, leisurely strolls through Rittenhouse Square and Reading Terminal Market, and a weekly senior citizens matinee at the Ritz 5. I now can work my way through all the novels that I've set aside with the mental note that I'll get to it someday. Well, someday is finally here. I'm retiring from WIP Radio and also from my TV work at NBC Sports Philadelphia. I've truly enjoyed working at both places. I love the people I worked with, and I'm proud of what we built, but I feel it's time to go. I'm healthy, I'm happy, but I'm also 75 years old. It's time, really, it's that simple. I'm not being pushed out the door. I'm leaving on my own, but it isn't easy. I love my life. I grew up wanting to be a writer and wanting to be involved in sports, and I've seen it all come true. I saw all 4 professional teams win championships. I've ridden in their parades, I've bathed in their confetti. It was great, but even great things run their course, and I've run mine. We still have a month to talk about the Sixers and the Phillies and, of course, the Eagles, and that's what I'll miss the most, the give and take with you, the listeners, sharing that passion, tackling all sorts of issues with this guy, my partner Glenn Macnow, laughing at our stupid football bets, and all the other stuff we kicked around for the last 20 years. And don't worry, Glenn is staying on, so you'll get your weekly update on what's new on Netflix and Hulu. Chances are it will be a British cop show, and Glenn will love it. I just want all of you to know how much I appreciate your friendship and support. It means more to me than words can ever express. So thank you all, and let's have fun with the time that we have left.
That was heartfelt, man. If that didn't get to you, the one
Dude's
thing
got
he was
away with
saying,
words, man.
he said, "Bathe in
They're
their
confetti.
confetti."
Yeah,
Like
I love the fact that he was able to see all 4 teams win a championship. Who's going to accomplish that here? You know what I mean?
That's crazy to think about, man.
And I wish everybody that sort of happiness in what they do, right? Like he set a goal for himself, he stuck with it, and he's able to retire on his own terms. And it's not like he's invalid or unable to live life, right? Like he mentioned all the things he wants to do. He wants to lock in with his grandchildren and like spend that additional time. And I think it's just a great reminder that like we aren't just the work that we do, right? That we have loved ones, we have families, we have things that we're passionate about. And all things come to an end, like he said, man. You got to lock in and just love what you do and love what you created.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that like when he touched on that whole fact that he's been doing this forever and his family, his entire life has been building their schedule around him. I thought that was cool that he's like he recognizes that, you know.
It kind of hit home. I was like, after I heard him say that the first time, I was like, am I spending too much time on the Eagles? I was like, you know, by hearing him talk,
it was that, but then also the fact that how he emphasized how the family is working their schedule around him.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, I'm in the back of my mind, you know, shout out to the wife and to the kids, because when it comes to this and the Eagles, man, they work their schedule around me. And extracurricular stuff as well, you know what I mean? Like with my sports, playing sports. So, I mean, that plays a big part with the family, the support the family gives somebody to go ahead and make that accomplishment. So, not only shout out to Ray, but his family as well.
It's crazy to think about Ray, though, like just what a pillar he is in the Eagle society. The thought of him not being at the link on a game day and him instead being at Gwynedd Mercy University watching field hockey is just, it's crazy to think about, but he's earned that time. And like he said, he's seen it all at this point. He's seen every team win a championship. There's nothing else for him to do at this point. He's done it all. So hats off to him.
It's that ending, him reading that off, it reminded me of like Shawshank Redemption when talking about what was it, Morgan Freeman narrating.
Yeah.
It just seemed, because he's painting a picture as he talks. That was dope.
Absolutely.
But we had to give a moment in hat tip, an Eagles legend. Went from the stands to covering the game that he loves and doing it well. But talk about doing it well. As we move along, cornerback 2 has been a topic of conversation. I think in theory, we all know that we love the idea of James Bradberry.
Just like I love the idea of Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
I mean, Eagle fans will be
Let it
geeked.
go.
Will
Let
be
it
geeked.
go.
It's
And
not
I-
about letting it go. I'm saying that I think that we have as good a chance to get. I don't think that like there's a lot of people that are like think that this Eagles getting James Bradberry is a lock. The
Yeah.
same way that a lot of people thought Tyrann Mathieu was a lock.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
It's
not.
gonna be hella
I'm not hanging
competition
on to
for
the Matthew
Bradberry,
thing. I'm
man.
saying that there's 31 other teams. To think
Yep.
that we're gonna get Bradberry, you're being naive.
Oh no,
Well,
no, I
I
wasn't
think-
singing "Let It Go" for you. I
Oh.
was singing it for
Oh,
myself.
for you,
Yeah.
for you.
I think the idea, I was instantly on the Slay recruiting hotline, put out the meme, call him, see if he'll take a deal. Like, because the idea he's already getting paid, right? He's already getting his money.
He got
So,
bought out of his.
so whatever he's getting extra on top of that. So they got
Right.
Giants still got to pay him. So at the end of the day, like having a guy that comes in here wants to play on a team that, and he's like, yo, this team could compete. I go against the Giants twice a year, whoop that ass. I only got to drive down, Jersey Turnpike, 95, whatever you want to call it, and still in the same region. Like, if we get in a bidding war with any other team, I don't think we can match that. But looking at Spot Track, they give you the market value for James Bradberry. His market, value right there is 12.1 million would be his average annual salary. 3 years, 36 mil. And that's ranked as the 16th cornerback in the league.
Which is
So that's
wild.
Yeah.
We have about what 10
10
mil.
mil roughly, yeah.
I
But
mean,
how it
obviously,
works the magic, man.
Yeah, you could
make
move
it
some money.
happen. Yeah.
like because we were just talking about in terms of cap and how he works the cap. Look at our offensive weapons for 22 cap. Look Hurts is 1.6, Sanders 1.7, Scott 1.75, Brown, he got his cap to 5.6, Devontae Smith is at 4.5, Goddard's at 3.7, combined cap hit 19.7. So
So
how he can work the numbers if he really wanted.
Well,
what do you?
Howie sets that number and it's not going to go over whatever it is. And they've been mocking, there's been a lot of smoke with Bradberry to the Raiders because his defensive coordinator is there. So again, to Ev's point, like it's going to be competitive. Like James Bradberry still has stuff left in the tank. And last year, according to PFF, was his best season in coverage throughout his entire career. So it's not like he has some like precipitous drop off.
Right.
So we'll see. But him as the CB2, I mean, this team goes from like playoff contender to like right in the mix with one of the best teams in the NFL. So I'm with it, bro. I would love to see it.
What do you think is the avenue that we take in freeing up space? Do you think it would be more likely that we restructure contracts?
Restructures, probably.
Okay.
Well, not only is that the avenue that we go and take, do we wait to see if any of that happens before we start realizing there's a move that's going to be made?
I think they do it like preemptively, to be honest, because you want to have the bread in place, right? Because like you don't want to be in a situation where you got to make a move and then somebody comes in at
That's
the
what I'm
11th
saying.
hour,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
And offer
yeah,
15
right,
a year,
right.
and then you like, oh damn, I didn't do how we, he's maniacal in what he does, man. I trust him with the contracts, right? Like back and forth around the draft, he hit it this year, but contract wise, I'm with it.
How about the fact too that like I have never seen a GM just show their cards the same way that the Giants did. I mean, they straight up came out and said, I was expecting more of a market for James Bradberry. Why the hell would you say that, dude?
I mean, Amari Cooper, same thing, went for a fifth to the Browns, right? Like, I think this offseason was really interesting seeing a number of teams kind of predict moves in advance and then be upset when they didn't get compensation. But quite a few people went for much less than, what we probably would have seen them go for had a team not sort of projected out what their intentions were. Who knows why you do that kind of stuff? I don't know.
I just think it takes away all your leverage when you, come out and say that you're going to
without a question.
Where you're thinking about dropping the guy.
Well, teams. I mean, like I was speaking to my friend who's a diehard Giants fan, and they all knew it was coming down. Like they knew that they couldn't afford him. It's almost like having too much shit. Like you need to get rid of some shit when you're broke. That's what they had to let go of some things, and obviously, the concern in his voice as a Giant fan to the idea and thought if the Eagles could get Bradberry, he was concerned. He was like,
they shook, bro.
He was super concerned. Now Edgar asked his question below: what type of effect would Bradberry have on the Eagles? I think at the end of the day, you got clamps. You got clamps on both ends. I still think if you want to ghost ride the whip on safety with on the back end, at least you got some clamps on both sides. So
and then you also got to consider with the front that we're going to have, like they're going to penetrate quickly. So you're hoping that these safeties aren't, all that needed to begin with. If the corners are able to hold on to their guy for a few seconds and then they're able to get to the quarterback, hopefully that's the formula. Well,
and then Slay doesn't have to chase ones, right? And I would say Bradberry's best years in the NFL, he was playing off zone, right? So he could bump, but he's not a dude that you want chasing a wide receiver all around the field. You want to give him space to be able to see it in front of him and attack. And so, yeah, man, it gives the Eagles a lot of the multitude that we talked about when they drafted Jordan Davis. I think he offers from the secondary. And maybe, you go cheap and see what happens at safety because you don't have to worry about helping as much on the other side away from Slay.
Mr. Cross brings up 1 year prove a deal. I think,
he proved it last year, honestly.
Yeah. I think he's done enough to get him a decent deal, but I think if he's looking for a vibe, like again, he's already getting paid, so he's getting double money. So I think he should be all set with that. D Morg, shout out to D Morg in the chat. He says I trade for Greedy Williams too. Let him battle at camp. I still, again, we're in the Steven Nelson phase of last year where we were all pretty much like he's probably going to sign, but we're not sure if and when. Going to the it's going through a thrift store right now. Like you don't have the real money to go out there to the mall, so you gotta hit the thrift store and make it work. So in terms of thrifting, if we go going around the room here, like obviously Bradberry looks the sexiest on there.
Yeah.
Trey Waynes with a familiarity with that Minnesota defense.
First name Kevin, last name King.
Joe Hayden.
Vernon Hargreaves had a lot of potential coming into the league, bro. I mean, I know he didn't live up to all the hype, but I mean, I would take a flyer on him, bro.
I think the young bull, Kevin King, is the youngest on there, right? What is he, 20?
Hargreaves is 26.
Yeah,
Hargreaves 26. It's not sexy out there, but there's serviceable. There's serviceable guys out there.
I mean, Joe Hayden played well last year too, like at 32. You know what I mean? If you're only looking for a 1 year deal and then you're going into next year's draft looking to take somebody or, clearing some space and trying to sign somebody to a long-term deal, knowing that Slay is going to be on his way out soon, there's options. But it's
honestly wild how some of these guys, how far they've fallen from grace. Because like if you look at some of the names on here, I mean, AJ Bouye, Joe Hayden. Yeah. I mean, like these are guys that
Chris
at
Harris
one point,
in a lockdown. He was a lockdown.
Josh Norman. These were guys that at one point in their career were the guy at quarterback.
Yeah, but this right here,
33.
This right here definitely shows how much the NFL is going in a whole different direction, man.
Yeah.
We get some. Let's see. I just brought up the comment. I'm having a moment here. Is this that getting Bradberry would be an all-in moment? Says 2020 Vision. My thing is like if you see that as a move that you got to make that makes sense for the team that it fits the vision and it fits if you could sell him on this idea of like, yo, you want to make a run or you want to be on a team that's like transcending versus a descending team.
Right.
I do think the Giants are transcending from where they were last year, but it's
I think it's the perfect time, man, especially with the way the draft went and how hot Howie is right now. Hey, stay hot. You know what I mean? Go ahead and make that move.
I think going for AJ Brown was an all-in kind of proposition too, right? Like you go get a young wide receiver, hand them $100 million. Like I think that's you're not doing that if you think you're a Midland team in the NFL. I think seeing the other day on the timeline, Jalen Hurts is the most popular pick. He doesn't have the highest like chance for it, but over the past like week or so, he's the hottest pick for the MVP. So like even bettors are paying attention now, right? Like turning those tickets in and choosing Jalen, pushing his percentage up. So I
Right.
think people are paying attention.
And Rome, honestly, I agree with him. I agree with what he has to say here. In that, like, if you just think about if you bring Bradberry in, where are you weak aside from safety on defense? Like you are you're stacked across the board. If you bring in a solid second quarterback.
Yeah.
I keep thinking in my head, I'm like, and I don't want to like gas my own self up, and let's just the idea of bringing him in, like, if you would have told anybody, everyone likes to ride, we'll let they know about, let them know. I can't even think right now. Everyone will let Howie know how they feel about him sometimes. But in the fact that you could get
the light, man. It's the light, the new lighting.
It's new lighting. It's a new lighting.
Oh, say less.
I mean, this is how like worked up I am about the whole idea of like, could you imagine landing Nakobe Dean, first of all, in the third? If someone said you got Nakobe Dean in the third,
and he's already
AJ Brown,
a full participant. Okay.
Well, AJ Brown, like AJ Brown, like this is pre-draft. You're like, and then Jordan Davis.
Right.
And then you land.
I don't appreciate y'all throwing my picture up there too.
Yo, it ain't no y'all. Mappa got no control over this, bro.
No, and then Landon Bradberry. That would be kind of.
Would that be Howie's best offseason of his career?
That would be kind of nuts.
At least during our time.
Yeah,
yes.
like that would be like iconic, and not even from the like
Dream Team was
the Dream Team
was kind of
there
crazy.
was no cohesion with the Dream Team, right? Like we got a bunch of great individuals that came here and floundered because they weren't
just
with
player
the team.
salad is all it was.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. But like this, like we're getting people that fit different roles that are voids, right, for your team, especially on defense, and just giving just multiplicity, giving opportunity to just get freaky with it, man. That's what I want to see. Year 2, I want to see the offense and defense be able to get freaky with it and not be predictable, not have to run the ball damn near 60 times a game, not have to play this bullshit off coverage, right? Like I want to see folks get busy. Let's see what I got the job. Let's see how I make it happen.
I'm ready to see the defense go to work, bro.
Yeah,
they pulled the trigger on Bradberry. Yeah. I am so ready to see this defense go to work. Bring on Dallas first week, man. Bring them on.
I mean, that's why people are like, there's some of them, like some of these moves, like, oh, they wouldn't have bring Bradberry, but you wouldn't have even thought that we would have brought in, traded for AJ Brown. That was a nice little surprise. But hey, man, we'll see what it is. Shout out to the Feast with Pete in the chat.
What up, Pete?
This is because of you, man. I was like, you know what? I was like, camera. I was like, his production value was so key while we were shooting during the draft. I was like
sweating and blinding yourself.
I gotta step up my production value. So
now Gail leaking.
Yo,
I said the light match the background. I'm trying to be, I try to be like Pete. But if you check out Pete's food channel, I mean, and his football channel, by the way. During the draft, he talked about making mac and cheese. He made a mac and cheese, crawfish mac and cheese, crack. I mean, he was putting seasoning. I don't know put sazon in there, but he was putting other seasoning from New Orleans. Like he was the thing was. I was like, man, listen. He said that he's gonna make it for a tailgate. I don't know if he exactly said that, but I'm forcing him.
Volunteering on there it goes.
But I don't know if Prime can handle the seafood.
No, I can't do the seafood, man.
I'm with you, Prime. You ain't by yourself.
Someone said crawfish tastes like fish. I mean shrimp.
I wouldn't know.
Neither would I.
I wouldn't know, man.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Palatero, Paul, Mark from Oregon, Pete D.
Bingo.
Morg, R&B, Mr. Rome in the house, Mr. Cross in the building, Mrs. McCabe. If I left anybody out, shout out to Edgar. Yeah, welcome back, Evan. Every time you speak right now with your allergies, you sound like some new person on the pod.
I had to spray my nose, bro. It was getting uncontrollable.
Sorry,
Yo,
it's all right.
I just recently discovered nasal decongestant spray.
You recently discovered this?
I knew it was a thing. I didn't know what it did exactly. I was
Yo, he's young, bro. He's so
It
young.
decongest your nasals.
Mommy, look.
I like how young boys just be discovering stuff that we've been on and shit. Like, I just found nasal decongestion. Like, bruh, for real though.
Listen, I'm not one that takes advice. Man. I just go and find things on my own, and then I act like I'm the one that discovered it.
There you go.
This guy, he's Columbusin over here, Christopher Columbus.
Right,
over here.
right.
He's because the other day he had made that mention on Twitter about his nasal decongestion. I was like, "You flexing about your nasal decongestion?" I seen that.
I was trying to turn people on. I didn't know if everybody was on the nasal decongestant thing.
Yeah, people on that one, brother. You got allergies. You know what a nasal decongestant is.
Now I keep if we're talking about the timeline, because obviously it's timeline talk. These guys right here.
Ooh, buddy.
Just the picture alone sends shockwaves up your spine. Because you know what kind of lethalness. I don't even know if that's a word, but lethalness. I don't know.
Get the point across.
You have a route guy junior, right? You got route guy junior in Devontae Smith. Then you got I'm talking
wants to run you the fuck over.
This guy can get the yak. He'll get you. He'll fight for the tough yards. He's, he got the size.
Makes
you talk about
look good.
He's got 4% body fat. This dude, this is the combination. If you are a wrestling tandem, this would be, you got versatility here. You got Devontae off the ropes, and then you got the tussle and muscle of AJ Brown. You can't how does that picture make you feel?
Dude, I haven't had a wide receiving core that looks that good in ever, bro. I can't tell you when I actually, with my own eyes, seen an Eagles wide receiver core that is this good, man. I mean, we've had the single guys, we've had the Terrell Owens, we've had Deshaun Jackson and Macklin. Honestly, I think that the ceiling for AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is higher than the Macklin and Deshaun era. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think that's far-fetched. I just think that it's funny because you see when folks call AJ Brown a wide receiver one, and everybody's like, "Yo, you slandering, Slim." It's not slander. Like, he is the wide receiver one, yo. Yeah, he is better than Devontae Smith. Like, that's not slander. That's just a fact. The fact that we have I love these pictures now where they're like, yo, rank these wide receivers in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Rank these wide receivers in the NFC. And AJ Brown and Devontae are at the top, in the top 5, no matter where you placing them. So, man, it's on Jalen, bro. Jalen got the keys to the Lamborghini. He's been putting the work in. If he could orchestrate this offense, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop them.
Do you really think that, I'm going to ask kind of a complicated question here.
In that, up over here watching this, man. Feeling special.
Do you think, right now, I would agree that AJ Brown is better than Devontae Smith, but I still think that Devontae Smith, I think they're both still developing. And I think that just having AJ Brown out there and probably, taking most of the coverage, he's going to free up Devontae Smith, and that he's going to have the ability to eat. I mean, I don't think that you can guarantee that one wide receiver is going to do better than the other, is my point in what I'm saying. I think that I think they'll have similar numbers this year.
I think the wildest part is we haven't seen the ceiling for either of them.
Exactly.
Devontae Smith last year was doing it all on his own as a rookie, and then AJ Brown wasn't his best self. You're right. And in Tennessee, they weren't utilizing him well. And so, I'm really curious to see, like you said, how they each open up the route tree and opportunities for one another. And then we can't forget about Quez Watkins, man. right? Like being able to, right, Goddard working the seams, Quez working over the top. Zach Pascal is a legitimate wide receiver 4.
Yeah.
He showed what he's capable of in Indianapolis across multiple years. And so, yeah, this offense, like, I'm just geeked up, bro. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about the offense and the defense of the Eagles. Like, I gotta slow down, bro, because I'm gonna be so disappointed if all of this shit just face plants. I'm gonna be sick.
Speaking of disappointment, I know that there would be some disappointment out there if Philadelphia's love child Greg Ward didn't make the team. Do you think he makes another squad this year? Or do you think this is the year where there's no more Greg Ward?
Damn.
I think either way,
what he brings in the special teams.
He's just back in wide receiver 5, but I think you gotta make him fight for it. You gotta make him any person on that wide receiver depth chart has got to fight for their life.
He makes it over John Hightower.
I want Greg Ward on the last day of camp to be like, I'm fighting for my fucking life out here. Like, I want him to be
minus the R. Kelly accusation.
You know what I mean? I need him to be fight. You're not just gonna get this spot just because it is what it is. Nah, I mean, you're gonna fight for it. And I mean, where does Rager stand?
Rager makes the team, in my opinion, bro. He's a first round pick, but he's a back end of the depth chart guy. Like, I think Rager has to make the team over Ward.
Team needs a water boy.
I mean, like, just if you look at
I'm
raw
still saying,
ability,
put that man at running back and see what happens.
Yeah. Use him like a Percy Harvin type.
A Debo? You trying to get a Debo out of him?
I think that's kind of what Rager's game is.
I mean,
though,
that's
bro.
when you look at his season at TCU. Like, when you look at his, when you looked at his best year at TCU, that's how they used them. They used them out of the backfield. They used them on end arounds. They used them on quick hitters. Used them on screens. Like, you got to just place the ball in his hands, right, so that he can't drop it. And then let's see. I think get creative.
Anyone happen to catch his social media today? He was working out at the link, put up some. I know that was the topic of conversation a couple weeks ago that he had deleted all of his Eagles pictures from his profile, and then he posted 4 pictures today from the link on a tweet that you can't comment on.
I mean, like, if you're gonna work out, you work out. Like,
it's smart.
Yeah,
keep it that way.
Yeah.
He showed a picture of him working out.
He was getting grilled in the quote tweets, but
of course.
You guys mentioned Debo, like, you're talking about real Debo. I want quarterbacks out here. Like, I mean, this is the Debo right here. I want cornerbacks to be like, you got knocked the fuck out, man.
Devontae's face fits too well on that, bro.
And his same body type with Smokey, like, it's perfect.
Too well.
Yo, Pop tripping. He wants me to ask for my bike back,
That's my bike, Pop.
I mean, it feels good. Like, I'm talking about, like, you going into a fight now. You got some dogs on the left and right. You're like, I feel okay. Not everyone in the squad is 5'8" and under.
But I mean, the big topic of conversation that we always get back to, the biggest negative thing I see on the timeline is, well, who's going to throw to him?
Yeah.
What's your confidence level? I mean, Hurts has weapons now, and we all mentioned that this is his year, that he's got to make it or break it. But in your guys' mind, do you think that Hurts makes the right step this year in the right direction?
I do.
Going back to what we said last year, man, we put the confidence on sticking with this guy. We know what work he needs to put in. It's all about what offseason work he's going to go ahead and focus on.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm in, but again, no excuses.
Yeah.
This is do or die right here, man. Like, you have everything set up for you, and if you fail this, I'm sorry, you gotta get replaced.
But it's funny, like, there's this faction of fans where it's like, you better fucking, like, or there's the other fans that are like, like, really, like, I'd say they're the Jalen stands, and there's like Eagle fans at the end of the day, like, yo, I'm just rooting for anyone who's under our center.
Yeah.
But I feel like you put him now, you put Jalen Hurts in a place to succeed. Like going into the draft, I was like, all right, we're ghost riding the whip here on wide receiver opposite of Devontae Smith. And this was the shocker move. Now I feel like you can compete. Now you have two dogs. Now you talk about the RPO gang, the RPO gang with AJ Brown, who's successful running the slants, the quick game, all that. A quick strike offense with AJ Brown who can get yak. It kind of complements his game, and he's got a catch radius. He can go up and high point the football. Attack the ball at its highest point. You got a guy that's going to compete. So,
and you still got Jalen's legs too.
And I think with the threshold piece, people want to talk yards, numbers. For me, it's not really that. It's his progression in the pocket, right? Like how much time did he spend studying tape with the pre and post snap recognition, right? Like defenses didn't do a ton of disguise stuff. You had all of these comments where people were saying they kept it basic and he still couldn't compete. Like this was his offseason, and he has it between the ears, man. Like he's a smart kid, he's a leader. The Eagles players clearly stand behind him. The coaching staff could have pulled them last year to put in Minshew, chose not to. And so all the cards are lined up. For me, I'm not going to earmark numbers as much as I want to say when the pocket breaks down, are you scrambling to run or are you scrambling to extend the play and look downfield? Because you got dudes like A.J. Brown running around. You got Dallas Goedert. You got Kenneth Gainwell shaking folks out of the backfield. Like you have the weapons. It does not just have to be you. So, yeah, man, I want to see him make those throws, those 10-yard outs from the opposite hash. I want to see you put that shit on point, hit folks in stride, and just run the offense. You don't got to be fancy. Run the offense, and this thing could go as far as they want it to.
Yeah, no, I think as far as threshold is concerned, I'm not necessarily looking at just hard numbers and the box score and the stats you end the season with. For me, it's going to come down to the eye test, really. What I saw in Carson Wentz in his first season, it wasn't a great first season, but I saw glimpses and flashes of what I could see as a future franchise quarterback. Granted, we all know how the Carson Wentz saga ended, but I mean, leading up to that point, we were all convinced that this is what we need at quarterback at this position. That's what I need from Jalen Hurts this year. I need him to show my eyes that he is capable of taking over this position.
Absolutely. And leaving no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the piece. If that question mark still exists, they probably find somebody in next year's draft, which is loaded.
If you don't know, then you know.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to leave them without a question.
I mean, the one thing I do like about our offense is our trenches again are are stacked. We'll start with offense because we're on the offensive side, but you got Jordan Mailata, backing him is Andre Dillard. You have Landon Dickerson, Sua Opeta, who's backing up Landon Dickerson. Jason Kelsey, the center god, with Cam Jurgens backing him up.
Yo, I'm loving the videos of Cam Jurgens playing offense
on the farm.
Yeah, guard against cows and shit.
Oh yeah. That's his Steve, man. He's totally bought in.
It reminds me of Khabib fighting bears. Yeah, sorry.
So you got Isaac Suamalo, you got Jack Anderson backing him up, Lane Johnson. Then you have Jake Driscoll, who's talk about seasoned. He's been
flexible,
versatile as well. You got LaRaven Clark. I mean, you have guys. I mean, and that's not even. We go across the side. I mean, I think the Eagles are winning the trench warfare. Think of this. You got Hassan Reddick, you got Fletcher Cox, you got Jordan Davis, Javon Hargraves, Brandon Graham.
And then you even beefed up the linebackers, bro.
This is the matchup I'm waiting for, man. In training camp is our starting offensive line versus even the second team defensive line, right? Because they give them, switch them out in reps. That second team defensive line still got some dogs on it, bro. Right? You might be talking about Brandon Graham on the second line, right? A freaking all Eagle, circle of a ring player. Second line, right? Jordan Davis potentially on that second line to start out. That's going to be such a battle to watch, and it's iron sharpening iron. Milton Williams too, absolutely. It's just a litany of dudes, man. I just can't wait, bro.
And versatility. Talk about a hybrid front. There's a possibility that you can do a multitude of things with the guys that we have up front. Again, if they want to, get crafty, they can. And talk about matchups and different teams that they're playing, they could move some things around. And again, you talk about the trenches. I do really believe that trenches wins Super Bowls. I mean, solid quarterbacks do too. But like building the trenches, they poured money into the trenches. So I'm excited about that.
Talk that talk, Rome.
I think that Rome. I mean that's high aspiration.
R&B over here.
Talk that talk.
As for me, like I honestly don't know what to expect this year. I really don't know what to expect. For me, though, there's a lot of promise for next year. I know a lot of people don't like playing the patience game, but I feel really, really confident about where we're going to be standing this time next year going into that season. Because we're gonna have those additional first round picks. We're gonna know if Jalen Hurts is the guy or not, and we will have his replacement if he isn't. I think that there's just a lot of unknowns that we're going into this year. The ceiling could be high. We could do way better than expected. But as for building the foundation for this team, I have a lot more confidence for our future.
Well, and right now they have the third or fourth easiest. I want to say the third easiest.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Like of that whole NFL season. Of course, that changes. Some teams end up better than you think. Some teams end up worse. So, starting out right now, it really doesn't mean much. But like, is there to secure the NFC, right? It's like when Brown went to the West and everybody was like, oh, the East is wide open. I feel the same way, man. I think that like a couple teams got worse than the NFC. And the Eagles got better, like significantly better. So yeah, definitely next year is something to look forward to. But I think you could build a hell of a foundation right now that then if you don't do it this year, carries over into next year. And you just continue that momentum.
Talking about foundation, and Daz here brings up a question. You guys see Nakobe Dean's new interview. I think when you listen to that dude speak and you understand that he's the field general that you can rely on. I feel like, the ceiling's there, man. You talk about, we talked about the Eagles defense being multiple up front and some hybrid looks, but you're talking about a guy who's played behind Jordan Davis. And we talk about, the ideas of, why we're using, like more 3-4 looks. And what does that open up? Blitzing lanes, and we got one of the best blitzing linebackers out of college. I feel like it only makes sense that you're going to see a heat-sinking missile in Nakobe Dean firing through these open lanes. So I feel like, again, Nakobe Dean, who his mechanical engineer, Mike, his dad's a doctor. This guy is a very
intelligent man,
impressive dude. I know. Prime loves him some linebackers. Are you geeked out? Are you geeked out about Nakobe?
Oh yeah, man! And just when I listen to that kid talk, you can hear the leadership in his voice. You could tell that he's ready to take that role, man. And we've been looking for that for a long time. I mean, I get a little sense of a Jeremiah Trotter in the kid. Like, I need that, man. You know what I mean? And here we finally got it. If we're still that on top of that third round, come on. How much more blessed can we be?
Trott's one of my all-time favorites.
Of course. I saw a Jesse Tuggle comp for Nakobe Dean. And for folks that really know, like, Tuggle was a beast. And so, if he can live up, you talking Trotter or talking Tuttle, right? Well, you talking about some of the best linebackers of that era. And so if he lives up to even the fringes of that, I mean, come on now. This is an opportunity, again, for the Eagles to take a huge step forward. And I don't know, Gail, you were making a great point earlier, like coming into the draft, like we speculated a bunch of stuff, but I don't think any of us thought it'd be Nakobe Dean, AJ Brown, Cam Jurgens, and Davis, right? Like all four of these players, the Eagles walked away with, plus some really good late round picks, plus some really good undrafted free agents. Who the heck thought we would get Carson Strong as a UDFA? So,
again,
like this, Josh Jobe, Mario Gervich, like folks that were supposed to get drafted. Calcaterra fell because of injury concerns, but if he could play through his rookie contract again, I mean, hellacious value in the 6th round. Kyron Johnson is going to be a hell of a special teamer. So
add Hassan Reddick in there too.
Hassan, right? And I forget about Hassan Reddick, Kazir White, who I was super excited about. It's just, bruh, so much.
As we get fired up, the Sixers game is nearing close. Time to start 7:30. Okay, 7:30.
7:30.
Okay, we got an hour. We got an hour left to the pod.
Prime on it. Prime like, nah, don't mess with it. Don't mess it up.
Listen, man. Ever since game 3, I've been into it, man. I'm into it.
He's like, I'm into
He
it.
says since game 3. I've watched every game this season,
No,
pal.
I watched
No,
every
sir.
game, bro. I'm just saying,
No,
though, but
sir.
come on,
That's
first
torture,
2
bro.
games, it was just like it was the worst basketball I seen, man. It was just stupid basketball.
I'm telling you, I
This
turn it
is how
on.
people that
Tobias
watch
Harris
every
turns it
Sixers
over.
game drink.
Stop.
That's a psycho drink.
That's
Violation.
My wife heard us talking about crunchy beer, and she was like, "Yo, don't put that on Jersey." I'm like, "Listen, that's some Jersey stuff, man. Like, we don't do that nowhere else but
No,
Jersey,
like,
bro.
we're gonna
That's
do.
straight Jersey."
We don't
No, no.
claim this guy.
No, we gotta do. We used to have
Crunchy
the
beer
bong.
review.
Oh, we used to have the beer bong baptisms. Now we got the crunchy beer baptism. Like
Yeah.
you got to come and crunchy beer. Like what the hell's a crunchy beer? I go to this.
Look what you started. Now I can
Dude,
see
I'm-
Ev having them lined up as he's making
Yep,
cheesesteaks.
right
You
next
want
to
a
my
cheesesteak?
cheesesteaks. I'm gonna have a
You want a
whole bunch of
cheesesteak?
peanuts.
You gotta
Yeah.
have some beer nuts.
I come to Philly. This dude gave me he gave me a crunchy beer and his damn cheesesteak. I couldn't say no. He gave me a free cheesesteak, so I had the crunchy beer.
That's fair. That's a fair trade-off. If somebody gives you a free cheesesteak, you can take their crunchy beer and just throw it out. Listen, I'm gonna have the garbage. Come over by me. Y'all see me, I'll be posted up. Come over near me. I'm gonna have the trash can for the crunch. It's the crunchy beer disposable.
You'll hide behind Mal. You just
Yeah,
dump
come
it.
right over here. Just dunk
I'll
it.
make the sign. Dump that shit here.
Just dunk that shit behind me. You good, man. You good.
Shout out to Mr. iFlow. He says, humor me. What if N'Kobe Dean becomes like a Hall of
Man,
Famer
I
guy?
don't want to talk about it, bro.
We got Hassan Reddick too. Sorry, I'm getting giddy.
Yeah, get that girl face out.
No, I mean, like again, like he, obviously everyone's like, everyone's
coming in like
coming in hot.
Yo. Oh man, that is hilarious.
like
that face.
I mean, like N'Kobe Dean, I have a lot of hope for him, but like already putting him in the Hall of Fame might be,
Hell no.
hitting the accelerator a little fast.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? I mean, is there any like? I know that we're all biased here. We all love N'Kobe Dean, and I don't want my question to make you think that I don't. But is there any concern at all about his size? Because he is small.
So, yo, I was up at 4:00 in the morning last night, my G. I couldn't go to sleep, and it came in my mind was like, yo, go back and check N'Kobe Dean's arm length versus the linebackers that went in front of him in his range. He's like a quarter of an inch to a half inch smaller than a couple people, has longer arms than Troy Anderson. And so that was one of my things, like coming in, I had the misconception because he's short. He also has short arms.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't too far off of some of the dudes that have gone in previous rounds, the previous years. I mean, he's short, but as far as like the arm length component, I'm not as worried. For me, again, it comes down to that being able to get away from blocks, right? Like he doesn't disengage.
He's able to get small too. Like that's an advantage of being small, is that you're able to get
ankle
that
biters, bro.
Yo, that
Ankle
blitzing
biters.
as a small dude, we fit in some of those holes, man. Big dudes can't get through some of those. Devin Lloyd couldn't make it through some of the spots that he got through in the SEC. Hall of Fame, nah, bro.
Shout out to Pop said, Pop, this size doesn't matter.
Yo, Pops, they lied to you when they told you that, dog.
Wrong.
They was trying to make you feel good, bro. Don't believe that.
When I seen Mal for the first time when we showed up to what was it, Xfinity Live, and I'm like, oh, I'll meet you there, and then all of a sudden I feel a shadow behind me, and I'm like, the fuck? What is this? There's a shadow inside the establishment, and then I'm like, bro, you didn't tell me he was like 6'5", and
I don't know how to tell people that. I got horrible composure, but I'm 6'4", 245. Man.
Yo, you can't sneak in anywhere.
Yo, when we showed up the Mouse event, man, I pulled up. There was a van there, and I saw him open the van. There he is.
Yo, appreciate y'all again for showing up to that Juneteenth event, man. Much love, y'all.
Man,
appreciate y'all, boys.
You gonna be doing it again?
Hell no. My wife asked me. She was like, "You doing another one?" I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not dealing with vendors for another year or two, bro. That's a pain in the ass."
Oh, I bet, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
I went across the street. I think it was before I met up with you. I went to a bodega that was across the street there.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to cop some candy or something like that. I just needed a little jolt. I grabbed a bag of sour. Dude, I will never buy candy from a bodega again. It was hot as fuck, bro. They were all melted together. I was so pissed.
It's not a real bodega. There's no cat in the bodega. It's not a real bodega.
It's not a real
Yes,
bodega.
sir.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
not, I don't think that
No,
was,
yeah.
I don't think that was the bodega that you needed to
And
go
a lot of these joints be fronts, man. Like they got what you want, but it ain't candy, bro. It's not that kind of candy.
My bodega's
Ghost
gotta
candy.
have the cat sitting on top of the plantains.
Yo,
That's my type
right.
of bodega.
Yes,
Like, could
sir.
you move? Can you move the cat out the way so I can get my plantain?
Yeah.
Can you move the pussy out the way?
Yeah. So talking about we are going to be doing a event if you
Yes,
guys
sir.
haven't
Yeah.
seen the socials. But shout out to shout out to E-Rock and the guys from Last Out Media, John Barchard and Vince Quinn. We'll be doing the Eagles Autism Challenge fundraiser night on May 12th. That's Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12.
This Thursday.
Silent auction. Guest bartenders are guys here.
I got a
sitting
heavy
here.
hand. I got a heavy hand.
We'll have a live DJ in the house. There's going to be a photo booth. Chris Rome is going to be spinning. Shout out to all the sponsors that will be involved in this event.
Should I tell them that I'm a pizza extraordinaire? I'm gonna make some pizzas too.
You're making pizzas?
I'm just saying, I'll throw it out there. I know how. So,
Okay. You're a pizza elitist?
I'm
Okay.
pizza elite.
So if you guys want to come out, it's for a great cause. All proceeds are going 100% to the Eagles Autism Challenge. There's going to be some great gifts, things that be auctioned. I'm putting in a pair of Eagles custom bands. I know E's gotten a bunch of stuff from around. People have been great, just offering up stuff to. There's a Jalen Hurts signed football, a signed football from Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy. There's a signed jersey from Wilper Montgomery. There is what else? There's a live sit-in. There's a live sit-in on WIP morning show up for bids. What else, man? What else? So it's a great opportunity, man. Like you're gonna have a great opportunity to hang out with some Eagle fans. We're gonna talk about the schedule too, man.
Mm-hmm. Schedule drop.
Schedule releases on Thursday, but talking about schedules, we got one that we know about. That is, they're bringing in the Skull home opener. The home opening tailgate is going to be at night.
Oh, Club Jawn to start the year.
At night. I don't know.
Start off the year.
Club Jawn.
Start off the year.
It's always a good time. Always a good time at night.
Bring those lights, Gail. Bring those lights, Gail.
It's always a good time. A night tailgate at 4th and Jawn. You never know what's going to happen. Shout out to DJ Lowski and his pyrotechnics out here. We have JJ Free. If you're not watching or listening on the podcast, but if you're watching, JJ Free, 4th and Jawn's favorite lawyer in Philadelphia, is having a moment with the sparklers.
And that was the
That's
moment
one way of
there
putting
when he
it.
knew.
That's when he finally realized how he was.
That's
filming.
when he realized he messed up.
He stepped off the sparklers. He was like,
Dirk, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. I understand.
How many people got burned by that thing? In a good way.
And that's like a lawyer, bro. I'll be hella careful, man. Keep the lawyer away from the pyrotechnics, bro. That's a walking case.
I'm gonna hire myself.
Who was returning to Club Jawn on this is gonna be a great time, man. Like
man.
It's gonna be Daz is that what's the backstory of 4th and Jawn? That's a deep rooted question. Like, what do you
do we have another hour here?
We can go on for days. But Daz, you got to come out to the tailgate and join. That right at the end of the day, it's about bringing people together. So that is the backstory.
And it's all about creating your own story with 4th and Jawn.
Yeah, but I remember Prime showing up to it. I seen Prime at the tailgate in a Transformer uniform. Outfit. I was like, this guy's no joke. I was like, I knew he was a Transformer fan, but I was like, this guy got
brought the Lombardi trophy too.
Yes, sir.
That Lombardi trophy was the hit for like everyone thought that was the real Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
everybody thought that was a Lombardi trophy. Everybody thought this man was Brian Dawkins. Oh man, it was a night to remember.
Yeah, man. How it's kind of ironic that we have purple lighting in the back. It's the Vikings opener. It's kind of weird.
You're trying to flex right now. The new lights.
Yeah, you are flexing. You're reaching. say Didinger one more time.
No, I mean, how do you guys feel about the Vikings home opener?
What do you mean how I feel? What?
The Vikings playing against the Vikings.
We're gonna smoke them boys.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it's the home opener. It's a night game. You got your club Jawn going on. You got Kirk Cousins, and like we've got this pseudo kind of rivalry that we've built up with Minnesota ever since we trounced their asses.
Hate us.
I know they hate our guts, and that's because
us.
we beat their asses, and then we went and won a Super Bowl in their house. So they don't got any Super Bowls.
Feels so good.
Shout out to Kelly. He's saying I need a cheesesteak shipped to Texas. First of all, I'm still geeking off the cheesesteak that Prime brought me to the other day. I was thinking, I was like, I need cheesesteak. Maybe I should go to the same spot. So I'm like, I don't know if that's my new favorite place.
Yo, man, Sonny's is
nice.
Sonny's, bro. Sonny's is the bomb. Shout out to Sonny's, man.
Speaking of Philadelphia's prodigal son, Devontae Smith, also known as Route God Jr., they reached out the other day and had asked me about if we as a group had bought tickets to an event. So Devontae Smith is having a celebrity softball game on June 4th, and they are going to give away 2 tickets to each of our platforms. So we're going to put out a little contest on the timeline. So if you want to win 2 tickets to his softball game, this is going to be, I believe this is going to be in Allentown, if I'm not mistaken. But if you want to win 2 tickets to this softball game, all you got to do is follow their platform on Twitter or IG. We're gonna put the contest out there, but all you have to do is follow them and retweet it, and you'll be entered in winning the contest.
Odds I beat Devontae in a race?
Probably not.
You get smoked immediately.
Some of the people that
a beer nut race. Yeah,
you might win that.
Yeah, you got to sprint and then chug a crunchy beer.
So are you guys all attending? Are you guys all attending?
Crunchy beer.
Huh?
Are you guys all attending?
Are we attending?
Are you?
I plan to.
We there.
Yeah.
We there.
Oh, it's a plan. Yes or no question.
We there. Yes.
So if you do, when you do arrive, you're going to see people like Deontay Johnson of the Steelers. Right. He's confirmed. We have Miles Sanders, everyone's favorite running back.
Booby
in the house will be there. He's also confirmed.
Why has he got a star in his hat?
I don't know.
He had 3 of them, technically, to be fair.
All right.
Mac Wilson, also a Bama alum, has confirmed. And Terrell Edmonds is confirmed. There's other guests right now. They're leaking them out, just like the schedule leak. They're leaking them out. So
I like the Steelers support, man. Like that's dope. You know what I mean? Like we spent most of my life Steelers, Eagles. It was no cross collaboration. Like that was beef. But to see the young boys collaborating for a good cause is awesome.
Shout out to Jay talking about collab. Oh, top tomato. He's the guy that put us on to Top Tomato.
Yeah, man. He's the man.
Thank you, Jay.
Out here flexing in the obby, like living the best life.
I can't believe this is my life.
I'm over there.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Aaron. Aaron, if you guys didn't see Aaron, he was out there flexing at the NFL draft. He was right next to the Philly sports guy. Hey, that's a great moment, man. Being at the draft in the front row, repping your birds. Shout out to Aaron, man.
Yes, sir.
Puga's talking about us coming to Arizona. Is it? Do you guys feeling that game?
Depends. You gonna drive the hell out there?
No, we're not driving. But I'm definitely Arizona's definitely on my map.
I want to hit Arizona too. I know two people that just went to Arizona. They were in Scottsdale, and they said that all the Airbnbs there have fucking putting greens attached.
We don't need an Airbnb. We're going to take over the Kincaid Mansion.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say all the Airbnbs had scorpions. I was gonna be like,
that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be real cool. I would love to see a scorpion.
There's nothing cool about that.
I would definitely love to see a scorpion.
You never had crunchy scorpion beer?
What?
Yo, now you're going too far.
I'm kidding.
That's a bridge too far, bro.
I did see when I was out in Cali though, they got lollipops with scorpions in the middle of them. Like, who the hell wants that?
I'm not surprised by that.
Well, it's like a tequila lollipop too.
I don't know. It's like they're frozen in like not frozen, but they're inside of like a lollipop, and they're like the lollipop's like yellow and clear, and then you see a scorpion.
Like baby scorpions. Yeah.
I haven't been out there.
I think it's the same size scorpions that they use in tequila.
Last time I was out in Arizona, I had some ATVs, and I was rolling out in the desert, and I saw some coyotes, and I'm like, I'm gonna chase some of these coyotes. Like, see where they're going. All of a sudden, my ATV starts, not working right, and then I'm like,
and now they started
you know those guys travel in packs, right, man?
Yeah.
I mean, one coyote you could probably take. A pack of coyotes.
Gail started running.
I was like, please start. So that was my last time in Arizona. But Mark is reminding us that it's all about Sixers at this moment.
Yes,
if you hear this podcast tomorrow, we're going to speak it in existence. We're talking about the win.
That's a win.
We're talking about this win.
Closing this out on Thursday, bro.
We're talking about this win as they come home.
They done pissed that beat off.
Last
fire under his ass right now, bro.
Last words before we get out of here. We'll go with Mal first.
Yo, just fly Eagles fly, man. Excited as always to be on here with you boys. Excited about Thursday. I'm hoping to be there. I should be. Excited about Devontae Smith and his charity event. But overall, the season is just going to be incredible. Looking forward to that Vikings tailgate. And yeah, man, fly Eagles fly, bro. Let's go. 76ers, man. Let's get this win.
Sir, 1, 2, 3.
Primo.
Oh, shout out to moms, man. Happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Want to give a shout out to Orlando River Hot Sauce. Finally got my hot sauce from Gail.
Banging, bro.
All right, the shit is off the chain. Go check out the boy. He's got that fire. All right, I mean literally, it's fire. Definitely want to go ahead and remind you guys about Tomato Top Bar. Make sure you guys come and join us for a special fundraiser for the Eagles Autism Challenge. We're looking forward to. I know I'm looking forward to Thursday. Definitely catching up with the fellas and having a good time. Other than that, make that Bradberry move, man. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And Sixers all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, you guys all pounded at home about Top Tomato. Hope to see you guys out there on Thursday. I'm just going to keep it simple and short. It's fucking go Sixers, bro.
Go! Let's
do it.
You drinking any crunchy beer during the game?
Nah, I'm going to have some Kenny's, though. I'm going to have some Kenny's.
Okay. Yeah, just closing it out, man. Again, see if you're around Thursday, check us out the Top Tomato. A great event. All proceeds going to the Eagles Autism Challenge. A lot of guys putting a lot of hard work. Shout out to E-Rock, Barchard, and Last Out Media, and Vince Quinn. Shout out to you guys. We have both. We'll put our links if you want to donate to our directly to our fundraising separately. I know each one of us are going to have a thing up there where you can donate. Put that out on socials later. But yeah, man, it's go Sixers, man. Go Sixers. MVP. You didn't care about him until he wore a mask. I think this guy's an amazing player. you can take your MVP and shove it up because I don't give a damn. He's the MVP of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
And that's all.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all that matters. Go Sixers. Fly Eagles fly. I think that's
Maximus.
anything-
Maximus.
anything else?
Maximus.
Say Didinger one more time. Say Didinger.
Diddy.
Legend.